There's a tool bag hanging down there. I hope nobody left it there when they took the express route to the bottom. I'll pull out a thread. In fact, this cap is such a waste of space, I'll throw the rest away. Looks like a rod, with neither a hook nor bait. One long hook thing coming right up. Come to mama. Well, what have we got here then? A prime example of a professional bodge job. The wrench fits. Now, let's just hope the mast doesn't fall when I remove the connector. How about that? Rope connector gone, mast still standing. A woman needs a little luck sometimes. Let's see. This can't be all that difficult. That ought to hold. Looks halfway safe again. I ought to be a bit cautious all the same. Whoa, what a mess. Who did this? Hello? Professor Hartman? Strange. No one here. What the hell happened? I ought to take a look around. There's a fireplace here, but it's stone cold. A genuine sun trap. The floorboards look pretty rotten. What I'd really like to know is what threw this great big locker all over the place. The crank is missing. The wrench fits, but I don't have enough muscle power. The winch isn't moving an inch. The wrench fits inside the pipe. The laws of leverage are your friends. My favorite occupation. Plundering. Mostly fruit and veg. I'll leave that here and take everything else. Aha! It fits. I'll check the first aid kit. The professor received this letter from his wife on their wedding anniversary. Turns out married, middle-aged people have very little of interest to say to one another. According to the sticker, that's Professor Hartman's laptop. Sadly, though, the battery's flat. The mobile solar charger has to be assembled before it can be used. Bearing in mind I don't like puzzles, I've rather nailed that one, haven't I? I'll connect the solar charger to the laptop. I'll put the laptop and the solar charger here in the sun. The laptop's protected by a code. A strip of adhesive tape. Might leave a scratch, but the ends justify the means. Is that just the manufacturer's logo? It looks like wedding bands or something. Looks like some kind of diary. Sounds promising. Viruses that are responsible for evolutionary leaps? That story would be an absolute scoop. Now, is there any truth to these ghost stories? Shit. Looks like it's quite possible they're close by here. I need to be careful. At least I now know where I can find the professor. Only now all that's missing is any clue to where this Christian mission is. This is where Hartman saved the pictorial info from the current expedition. The map of the camp. A map of the region to the south of the Basumtwi. Aha! That over there to the west has to be the mission that Hartman wrote about in his notes. Even the most ambitious scientist has to switch off every now and then. Can't wait to see what kind of music the prof's into. No forecast without the internet. And I don't need a laptop to see how the weather is right now. It doesn't make sense to set off for the mission now. I don't want to be wandering about in the jungle after dark. I'll spend the night here in the camp. Chasing after our scientists will have to wait until tomorrow. I'll set up the motion sensors and build a nice big fire to keep the beasties at bay. Now I ought to make a fire. It'll keep me safe tonight from the cold and whatever else is out there. Let's get cozy. The working range of this sensor is 160 degrees. I'm thinking that the sensor belongs on top of the stand. On the sensor it says working range 90 degrees. I'm thinking that the sensor belongs on top of the stand. This sensor has a working range of 120 degrees. I'm thinking that the sensor belongs on top of the stand. This sensor has a working range of 75 degrees. I'm thinking that the sensor belongs on top of the stand. A sensor with a working range of 90 degrees. I'm thinking that the sensor belongs on top of the stand. Looks like the sensors are set up according to plan. There. All done. Now I'm gonna get some shut-eye. And in the morning, I'll head to the mission and track down this research team. What are they? Animals? Nasty. I need to scare them off somehow. Maybe it'll give them a fright. They're gone. Hopefully they're gonna stay gone too. It won't be too long now until sunrise. What a night. I never got back to sleep. What were those things? Hey, maybe I caught them on camera. What the? In all the horror movies I've ever watched, I've never seen anything like this. It's a westerly direction to get to the mission. Professor, I'm on my way. The mission. At last. Hello? Anyone home?
God be praised, my child. What can I do for you?
My name is Samantha Peters. I'm looking for a group of scientists. Their leader is called Professor Hartman. According to the notes I found in their camp, they were headed here before they disappeared.
Yes, the men you're looking for arrived here yesterday.
Finally, I've caught up. Can you take me to them?
Unfortunately, that's not possible. They are in quarantine.
Quarantine?
They are very ill. They have high fevers and are unresponsive. Nobody is allowed near them until the doctor gets here. We want to avoid any possible spread of the disease.
Can't I at least have a brief talk with Professor Hartman? It really is very important.
The professor isn't here.
Not here? Where is he?
If I've understood the men correctly, they were attacked at night and the professor was taken away.
Damn it! Do you know who attacked them?
You have to go now, my child. It is not safe here when the darkness falls.
What aren't you telling me? What is it that you're so afraid of? I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what's going on here.
Child, I just want to protect you. If I let you in, you could become infected. And outside, you are not safe from the...
Yes, not safe from what? In the scientist's notes, it says that one of them was attacked by some animal species he didn't recognize before he became ill.
That was no animal.
Well, what was it then? For Christ's sakes! Oh, forgive me.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
Listen, sister. You will now talk, or else I will break the fifth commandment. Who ambushed the scientists and dragged off the professor?
They come from above. The trees.
Locals? Rebels? Hunters?
No, not humans.
Well, what then? Not animals? Not humans? Aliens, perhaps?
The Asambosam.
Asambosam? Never heard of him.
Ancient Ashanti legends tell of strange nighttime beings that lurk in wait for their victims among the boughs of the trees. They pluck unfortunate souls from the ground using their long, sharp claws and then drag them off to their caves where they then suck the blood from their victims' bodies.
So what does your boss have to say about your believing in such blasphemous scare stories?
Scare stories? When you have lived among the Ashanti as long as I have, there's very little that appears unbelievable.
Let's reel this conversation back in from the nether regions of God's asshole and stick to the facts. I shot this photo last night. This little freak was one of a whole group sitting in the trees above me. Might this be one of your Asambosam?
Holy Maria, Mother of God, you can count your blessings that you are still alive, my child.
So these freaks really have schlepped off the professor then? Suppose it's true. Where would the Asambosam take their victims?
Into their caves.
I got that bit. Where are they exactly?
My child, you really don't want to go there.
Yes, I do. There's one hell of a real scoop of a story there for sure. And I just might be able to save the professor while I'm at it. That is, as long as these things haven't sucked him dry already.
Then I really won't be able to stop you, my child. Wait here a moment. This will be a great help to you on your reckless undertaking. Take it.
What is it?
Some intense studies of the Asambosam and Ashanti legends.
Thanks.
May the Lord watch over you.
This is where the notes begin. So there were already patients at the mission with the same symptoms as the scientists. So were these men under attack from the same creatures? Let's see. Here it is. The attackers came out of the trees and surrounded them. Interesting. There had also been similar cases in the past. The locals call the attackers the Asambosam. They're also supposed to be responsible for transmitting a virus. The old Ashanti shamans were able to control these mysterious beings and could protect themselves from the disease. The priest found himself in great danger on his quest for the antidote. The Asambosam exist. Now it's gonna get interesting. Ugh, such a lot of text. The priest stumbled across one of these Asambosam and followed him to a cave. The translation of the inscriptions at the cave entrance brought something astonishing to light. It detailed a description of a ritual which could protect against catching the Asambosam disease, and which could also cure it. They carried out the ritual, And despite no ready explanations for how, it worked. These experiences really rocked Father Samuel's concept of the world. This is where it lists what you need for the ritual and how to carry it out. It's incredible. I suppose I have to accustom myself to the notion that the Asymbosum may not be pure fiction. The priest's very convincing. Unfortunately, he took his knowledge of the route to the cave to the grave with him. At least I now know how I can protect myself from the Asymbosum disease. When I find out where they're hiding, I still might be able to rescue the professor. Oh, a loose page has fallen out. It's blank.